Hi, welcome to the 50th episode of the Story Bank, a series where I curate stories from across the world that you can use in business. Today's story is set in the late 60s or the early 70s, where Henry Kissinger was the national security advisor to President Richard Nixon and Winston Lord was his special assistant. Now, both these gentlemen were fairly accomplished. They went on to take very big posts. Henry Kissinger in 1973 went on to be the Secretary of State, and Winston Lord, who was involved in almost every meeting with Chairman Mao, went on to become the United States Ambassador to China in 1985. This story appears in Walter Isaacson's biography of Henry Kissinger, but I prefer the version where Winston Lord himself talks about this in the Oral History Project at the George Washington University. Let's start today's story. So while Henry Kissinger himself was a great speechwriter, the task of writing his speeches during his stay at the State Department was given to Winston Lord. Now, Henry Kissinger believed that all his speeches and reports indeed shaped foreign policy, and so he was very meticulous about it, and so most of his speeches and reports went through several drafts and redrafts. One such instance that Lord recalls was when they were working on a presidential report on foreign policy. Lord had crafted the first draft and given it to Henry Kissinger. A few days later, Henry Kissinger gave him a call and said, "Is this the best you can do?" And Lord's reply was, "Yes, Henry, I thought so, but I'll give it another shot." A few days later, he redrafted it and sent it to Henry Kissinger. Again, a day later, he gets a call from Henry Kissinger, and Kissinger says, "Hey, I'm just double checking. Are you sure this is the best you can do?" And Lord's reply was, "Yes, Henry, I really thought so, but I'll give it another shot." Now, this to and fro went on for 8 times. 8 times Lord submitted the drafts, and 8 times Henry Kissinger asked him, "Is this the best you can do?" And 8 times Lord said, "I'll try it again." Lord submits the 9th draft. And again, a day later, Henry Kissinger calls him and says, "Is this the best you can do?" This time an exasperated Lord says, "Henry, I have beaten my brains out on this. This is the 9th draft. Yes, this is the best I can do. I cannot improve a single word in this draft." There is a pause, and then Henry Kissinger says, "Well, I'll give it a read then." What a powerful story. Where in business can you use this story? Well, I can think of 3 things. One is when you're telling your team that no matter what subject matter expert you are, your first draft is never going to be your best, and so give it another shot. Don't submit shoddy reports. The second is when you're telling team leaders they need to push people if they want the best out of them. And finally, when you're asking yourself at every project submission or anything that you're writing, an email, a presentation, when you're asking yourself, "Is this the best I can do?" And usually the answer is no. I hope you liked this story, and if you did, hop over to our YouTube channel. We've got many more. We've got 2 huge playlists. One is the Leaders Speak playlist, where leaders from across the world have shared stories that have shaped opinions they have, which we can use in business. And of course, the Story Bank series, 49 other stories just like this one, which you can use in business. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so that you get alerted every time there is a new story. And we have 2 new stories every week. See you next week. Till then, take care and stay safe.